Today I'll be talking about setting up a xfce4 terminal in Linux Mint. This is a Cinnamon Edition LMDE edition. So obviously, let me just show you the default terminal, which is a GNOME terminal that comes with a Linux Mint. But with the default, usually it's a it comes up about here, and I've modified with a geometry function. So GNOME terminal help all. So there is a geometry function here which can be used as an option to place the terminal down here, but it takes a lot of trial and effort and have to get all the 4 numbers correct to make it come up here. So what I prefer to do, and in addition, I don't like this terminal bar. This is just a wasted space here, and also some may prefer transparency here. So because of that, I ended up using xfce4 terminal. So obviously what you have to do is first to go ahead and install it, which I've already done. Sudo apt install xfce4-terminal, and then so let me just go ahead and bring up the GNOME terminal again, and we'll go ahead and xfce4 terminal here, so we can go ahead and after installation you'll see this xfce4 terminal. This is a default setting of xfce terminal after installation. So there is a right click and you can go into preferences, and you can set up a basic preference of so scroll bar. I prefer not to have the scroll bar at all, and I want to have a cursor blink constantly, and I think that's about all here. And appearance, I prefer to have, let's see what the default the mono space looks like here. So that's, we'll just for presentation we better make it a little larger here, and then allowable bold, that's fine. Background here, you can go ahead and set up a transparency here, so you can go ahead and set the transparency of this xfce4 terminal. So, and then I want to I like it pretty so you can barely see the background. That's fine. And then I don't want the menu bar and also I prefer not to have the border. So we can take a brief look at the colors tab here, and then systemic theme, I tend to use that, makes it a little lighter. And then preset, I usually prefer Tango, and let's see, systemic color. Okay, so that looks good. And then compatibility and rest of it, I leave it alone. You notice that there's no drop down tab here. So what we're gonna do is we're in the xfce terminal now, so we'll just use xfce4 terminal, and then space and then drop down, and then you're gonna have it's kind of hard to see, but so let me just go ahead and bring this down, and then we're gonna use the drop down again, and you're gonna see the drop down box here. Okay, so here is the drop down box. You notice that it has no menu up here, So but we does have the bar here, which we will get rid of, and we'll let's go ahead and right click and then go to the preference. So preference, now you can see that there is a drop down menu. So what we want to do is shortcuts to focus visible in the show status icon notification area. So here is yeah, I will go ahead and just make that invisible. And then what's important is that there is a very simple way to go ahead and change the width and height. So here is, for example, you can make it a little less high, and so there is so width is similarly 80% now, but you can certainly go 100%. So we'll go to the 80%. So, and then opacity, you can control the opacity. So, but what I wanted to show you, the default is on the top, but I usually prefer my terminal to start on the bottom. So what you do is go ahead and just drag this here, and you can see that it moves down. So let me just make the width slightly smaller. So this is about what I prefer, and then it's so easy without having to use geometry option in GNOME terminal to do all this. And then let me see. So to remove this status tab down here, which is really unnecessary, we can just unclick always show tabs. So now this is pretty much the final result here, which is what I prefer. And to go ahead and put that in keyboard bind, what you have to do is go to set up system settings, and then we'll go to the keyboard, and then shortcuts, and then custom shortcuts. Yours is going to look very different, and right now I have terminal set up on Super and T key, but this is on a GNOME terminal, so with a geometry function here. So that seems to work okay, but it's much easier to go ahead and Control A to go ahead and erase everything, and then xfce4-terminal and space dash dash drop dash down, and then update. So now let's see what happens. We're just gonna touch the Super and T key, which is the shortcut. So now you can see the xfce4-terminal is triggered here. So now this, when you have xfce drop-down terminal this way, it will let you go ahead and do the maximal and back to its normal setting, but it won't let you show up on the left or right side of the display. So let me just show you. So if you have GNOME terminal, then you can see that I can go ahead and make it go to the left or right, and then maximal and the back. So, and then go to shortcuts, and then custom shortcuts. We can, at this time we'll go to launcher, launch terminal, and so default terminal right now is GNOME terminal. So I've go ahead and launch terminal, I've go ahead and assigned, so pick a terminal. So Control ALTT will go ahead and launch the GNOME terminal in a default setting. So let's go ahead and close that, and then we're gonna see Control Alt and T. So now you can see that you have an option of starting either Super X, Super T will bring up the drop down terminal here, or Control Alt T will bring up the default GNOME terminal. So I prefer to have this here. So this is what I wanted to show you, and then I think